I want to thank you for joining me again as we continue on with our series From Other to One Another, our daily devotional series that accompanying our Sunday morning sermon series. I want to thank you for joining us for that as we explore the richness of our relationships with one another. Mr. Hand was my fifth grade teacher at Thome Elementary School. He was probably my favorite teacher until graduate school and my major professor in graduate school. What made him my favorite wasn't so much the content that he taught, because he taught typical school stuff like the first, second, third, and fourth, sixth grade teachers around him in the same school had done. But how he taught, and that he taught in a way that exemplified that he really cared about you as a student, is what made him different. He would divide us into teaching pods, and in those pods he would encourage and work with students individually within those environments, and trying to bring out the best in each of those students. I really began to get more interested in education at that point. I wasn't a good student in grade school, but because of his influence, I began to be more interested in learning. What makes a good teacher? Sometimes it is about content. One of the things that we learn through Scripture is that content is important as far as what we learn, but it's not the only thing that measures into our responsibility that we have to teach or instruct one another. Each of us are called to that task. Each of us have a responsibility to teach and instruct one another. And in Romans chapter 15, verse 14, it says, I myself am satisfied about you, my brothers, that you yourselves are full of goodness, filled with all knowledge, and able to instruct one another. In that verse, Paul hits on two things that become instrumental in how we teach and in how we instruct one another. He hits, first of all, on a character issue, that they are filled with goodness. You see, one of the things that we understand is bad teachers often are bad not because they're teaching different content, but because they teach poorly. Their character gets in the way of the information that they're trying to teach. That we ought to be living in such a way that we are living so that our lives reinforce what we're trying to teach. That if we're trying to teach someone about the love of Jesus, that we're not just saying it, but we're living it in a way that helps them to appreciate it. The other thing is the issue of content, where he says that you are filled with knowledge. That knowledge is the thing that the information that we have. The 2 plus 2 equals 4. The content of that. And here, the biblical content are those things that we begin to pass on. In another verse, Paul is in Ephesians. He tells parents the responsibility is to bring the children up in the training and instruction of the Lord. And again, he hits on those two veins. In the terms that he used, the training is the life stuff, the character things. and then the instruction is the content for him. And so we live and we instruct one another, we teach one another by not just what we say, but how we live. That people are looking at us and our teaching becomes our lives also become a tool for how we teach. Teach one another well by not just what you say, but by how you live.